Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about creating passive income with print on demand. So if that is a subject that you're interested in, please do stick around. Okay, so in today's video, I wanted to go over with you guys some of the most popular evergreens and scalable designs that you can incorporate into your portfolio to help you make more sales. So I encourage everybody to have as many designs up as possible across as many niches as possible to increase your exposure and to increase your probability of getting sales and getting large numbers of sales. And so I have a list here I'm going to show you guys, and I want you to make sure that you have designs up for sale across all of these niches, preferably multiple designs on each niche, and preferably cross niching and niching down. And I'll show you guys the list, and then we'll show you some examples of different scalable designs that you guys can do. So if you want to, you can take a screenshot of the list, or get your phone out and take a picture of it. That way you've got it easily accessible for you. So here is my list, and it is by no means, comprehensive. There are tons and tons and tons of niches out there, but these are some of the best-selling evergreen niches that you will want to make sure that you have designs up for. So I'll read through them, and I may make a little comment here or there. So the first one we have is birthdays, years, ages. These can be easily scaled out. So for example, you can have ones that say born in 1984, born in 1985, born in 1986, and you can scale that out. And so you can see how one design can turn into 100 designs. You can also do birthday ones like 5th birthday, 6th birthday, 50th birthday, 60th birthday. And so you can do things like that as well. And lots of different ways that you can go with these. There's tons and tons of birthday designs up. But the great news is people are having birthdays literally every single day. Lots of people are having birthdays literally every single day. And so it is a good thing to get into. If you're not into that, that's an easy one that you can scale out and get lots and lots of designs for. Another big niche that you'll need to niche down on is sports. Now, sports encompasses obviously a lot, and there's a lot of different ways that you can go with sports too. So you can, tailor your designs more towards the athlete, more towards the coaches, more towards the fans, more towards the parents. And so lots and lots and lots of ways you can go with sports. And then, of course, lots of sports, from big sports to little sports. And so you should have tons and tons of opportunities to make designs with sports in mind. Another fun one that's scalable is dog breeds. People love their dogs, obviously, and there are tons of dog breeds, and people can be very specific about them. And so there are all sorts of ways that you can make designs tailored to specific dog breeds and then scale those out. I don't know off the top of my head how many dog breeds there are. I want to say somewhere close to 100 different dog breeds. So I've done dog breed designs, lots of them, and I just remembered, wow, there was a lot of dog breeds, and now I have learned a whole lot of dog breeds that I wasn't super familiar with or didn't know the name of, and so that was fun and interesting to learn. Another one, so pets, animals, other things than dogs, right? So a few different ways that we can go with this as well. You've got different pets, right? So people have cats, they have rats, they have snakes, they have lizards, they have birds. I mean, so you can go a lot of different ways just with the pets and some of the more rare pets too. But on top of that, you've just got general animals, sea animals, mammals, birds, lizards, all sorts of different ways we can just go with animals. And you can tailor that sometimes to zoos or wild animal parks, and group shirts too. Group shirts are great. So you can do like a group shirt for a trip to the zoo, or a family group shirt for a trip to the wild animal park, or a trip to the aquarium. And so there's a ton of different ways that you could go with just any kind of animal you can think of. And for that, there are thousands, thousands. And so if you are stuck on designs, if you've got lots of slots that you're trying to fill, animals is a very easy way to go. Another one, national flags, right? So people are very proud of their heritage. And there are, again, I don't know the number. I want to say somewhere around 200 different countries, give or take, and that's constantly changing. Point is, you can have tons of national flag style designs. And I have done some of these too, and I do have some examples below. Um, so if you want to learn how to do them, you can, of course, look through my channel. But flag designs are big, especially when we're looking at heritage months and other things. Another fun one, wine, beer, alcohol in general, drinking shirts. I'll admit my number one selling design right now, in fact, my number one selling design of all times, is actually a tank top. And it's a drinking tank top. And so that works really well for the summer. It works really well for vacations. It works really well for spring break. Um, it works really well pretty much for anything. Obviously, people love their alcohol year round. And so there's a ton of different ways that you can go with beers, with wines, with different liquors. And there's a ton of different liquors and ways that you can scale that out as well. Another big one, music, right? So when we think about music, there's different genres of music, and then there's different musical instruments. And so you can really tailor that a lot of different ways too. I've seen a lot of shirts that are about guitars. And in fact, I've seen a lot of shirts in Amazon's like top 100 shirts about you can never have too many guitars or something like that. And so lots of ways that you can, again, go with music, and you can cross niche and niche down. And then we've got some of the, I didn't put them under animals because they're not really real, but the fantasy animals. So unicorns are always popular, and you can cross niche unicorns with just about anything. So I could take a unicorn and cross niche it with probably any of these other niches and make a funny design. There's also Bigfoot designs. So Bigfoot is another one you can cross niche, and I've seen all sorts of Bigfoot designs. Mermaids. Mermaids are very popular, especially when we're looking at like kids' birthday shirts or birthday party shirts, and you can make them for adults too. So I have seen mermaid security, things like that for birthday parties. Tons of ways we can go with the mermaids. And then we got jobs and careers. And I know you'll see a lot of these, and these are really easy ones typically to scale out. So for like, I know St. Patrick's Day just passed, but you could have had a shirt that said one lucky teacher, and then it could have been one lucky nurse, and then it could have been one lucky physical therapist, and then it could have been one lucky list the job, and you could just keep going through as many jobs as you can possibly think of, and you could scale that out tremendously. And I do want to say that all of the big sellers on Amazon, the ones that are on, tiers, 100,000, they are going to have tons and tons and tons of scaled out designs. That's how they fill all of those slots. So they don't just make one shirt, they scale it out across everything they can possibly think of, and they'll make multiple versions of that same shirt. And so you can really fill up a lot of spaces that way. We also have the space niche. Space is very popular, and there's been a lot more, trips to space and talking about space and space exploration and new advances in space. And so lots of different ways we can go with that. Dinosaurs is always popular with the kids. I see dinosaurs with back to school shirts, last day of school shirts, 100 day of school shirts, dinosaurs for kids' birthdays. So always lots of different ways you can go with dinosaurs. And of course, you can scale those out across the many different dinosaur, breeds. Then we've just got funny memes. Funny memes are great for anything. And so there's all sorts of just funny meme shirts, and they can just be text only. The fun thing about text only is it's so easy to make. As long as it is not trademarked, and you do want to check that, it's really easy to make a text only shirt. And when in doubt, if you want to be super fast, white text, black shirt, that's going to be the number one selling. And sometimes more of the grungy text fonts will do better. So something simple, maybe a little grungy, white text, black shirt, and you can pump out a whole bunch of different just text-only funny meme shirts. Then we've got things like And I did kind of break this into a lot of different categories, but hobbies. So people have tons and tons of hobbies. And so I've got some of them listed, but things like hiking and camping, the outdoors kinds of things. I guess you could put things like kayaking in there. Those would all be, great things, especially as summer's coming. People like to do a lot of like camping and whatnot. So great shirts there. And of course, you can do group shirts with that too, or family camping trips, things like that. Pride is also a great one. It sells year round, but it also sells particularly well at Pride Month. And so you can keep that in mind. But Pride is always it's a huge niche. And there's just a lot of different ways you can go with that. Probably one of my top 5 selling shirts is a Pride shirt. So again, I've got a lot of sales off of Pride. We've also got things like family cruises or boating, sailing, things like that. That's another, combination between a vacation and a hobby, depending on which way you go with it, but lots of different ways we can do with being on the water and on a boat, cruise, vacations. Trains are another big one. Trains are big for kids and adults. There are plenty of grown men who love trains, and so lots of different ways you can go with those, like steam engine type of designs. Pirates are always fun too. I have another shirt that's selling pretty well right now that is a pirate shirt for women, and so don't just think about men. Go ahead and throw a different style on it. Dragons, another fantasy animal that's always pretty big, and so lots of different ways again that you can cross niche dragons into other niches and make some really cool designs there. We've got things like yoga. I suppose you could throw like Pilates in there, exercise in there. So different, fitness things that people do can make for some great shirts. Coffee, again, you can't go wrong with coffee. It's kind of like alcohol. People like coffee all the time, and they like lots of different coffee and espresso drinks and caffeine, and lots of ways that you can cross niche that with other things, especially the next thing I have down here, which is parenthood, and parenthood runs on coffee. So there you go. That might not be trademarked. I don't know. But funny parenthood shirts, lots of parenthood shirts, things like "You can't scare me. I have 2 girls," or "I have 2 teenagers." And that's just a saying shirt, but tons and tons of parenthood shirts, and especially things for Mother's Day and Father's Day. Always, lots of funny parenthood style designs. Reading and fantasy. So there's a lot of people who like to read. There's a lot of book designs out there. There was a popular one for a while, says "I'm with the band," and it was just about band books. And so that was a good top seller. And I think it might still be selling. I haven't sold one in a while. You've got your vacation, tropical vacation, summer vacation niches. And of course, people go on vacation year round, and people like the tropical stuff year round. And so that's always a fun one. 80s, 90s, anything that's more retro. People still like the retro style of design, the classic style. So anything 80s and 90s. They're probably a lot of what's buying. So you got the millennials there, and the millennials are probably buying a lot of stuff on Amazon. So that is a great target audience to create designs for. And of course, that can also go back up to birthdays and years. Then we got more hobbies, so things like fishing, another one, hunting. There's a lot of people who like to fish and like to hunt, and so those are great designs. There's sort of the Western style. So I put cowboy, cowgirl, anything more country Western style is a good, evergreen style niche. Motorcycles. People love riding motorcycles. Lots of different fun motorcycle shirts out there. And I say shirts, but they don't have to be shirts. These can be any products that you want. Obviously, if you're doing it on Amazon, you're probably going to throw it across as many products as possible, but motorcycles is another good one. Locations. Locations are super easy to scale out. So you can do locations for anything. For example, you can just do the location. You could say a New York City shirt, or a Florida shirt, or a Tahiti shirt, right? You could also do a location and a date. So something like spring break, 2024 in Florida, mix those 3 together and boom. Or, scuba diving Florida, or, New Year's Eve Florida. I'm just saying Florida. I don't know why that's in my head, but you can pick any location and you can be as broad or as narrow as you want. So you can go states, you can go countries, you can go down to individual cities. There's lots of party cities that tend to be very popular. You could go um, spring break San Diego, for example, and that would be, you know, a popular city. And so lots of ways that you can think about doing location style shirts, tons and tons and tons of locations. People love their locations. Next, I put kindness. This could be kindness. This could be motivational sayings, inspirational sayings. Kindness shirts are big. There is a kindness day. Kids will have kindness week at school. And I don't know if it's always the same week. And I don't know if it's the same across all schools, but I know my son does have a kindness week. And so kindness shirts, especially for kids, can be really great. Food. Food is a giant category. Obviously, I've seen all sorts of different food niches, all sorts of food designs. I have seen pizza designs, ice cream designs, popcorn designs, lots of ramen designs. I don't know, people love the ramen, and so noodle designs. So lots of different ways that you can go with the food. Gardening is another big category, and so all sorts of fun gardening shirts. This might be good for grandma and grandpa, for example. I don't know what it is. I work with a lot of geriatric patients, and a lot of them love to garden. They've got lots of free time and they like being outdoors, and gardening is a great hobby. So lots of fun gardening shirts that you can do. Crypto is a good one too. The crypto market has been going up lately, and it's gone up a lot in the last year. And as it goes up, the demand for crypto products goes up. And so it's fun because as we see crypto rising, we also see people wanting crypto shirts and crypto hats and crypto stickers and, you know, everything for all the different coins out there that they like. And so lots of ways that you can go with crypto. Scuba diving, that's another hobby. So you can, again, do lots of different fun and funny scuba diving shirts. Gaming, so video games have always been a huge niche, and they have always been cross niched with like everything you can think of. I pause my video game for any number of different things, right? So gaming is always great to incorporate. Photography, that's another hobby that people have. Lots of different fun ways that you can go with the photography, especially if you're going for more of the old school photographers and you start looking at like the film and the SLR cameras. Be a little bit more classic with it. You can take that and mix it with like birthday or age too. So that's a fun cross niche. Anime is always popular. So any of sort of Japanese animation style designs, those can sell really well. And then bike riding, mountain biking, those are also, you know, good evergreens to have. So like I said, this was not a complete list. Obviously, there's tons more evergreens that you can think of, but you should at least have designs for all of these up on your shop or, you know, wherever you're selling, because evergreens, they are great. Seasonal designs are perfect. They're great for the season. They'll come and they'll go as the seasons come and go. Trend designs can be great if you catch a trend, you know, right at the peak and you get lots of sales, but then the trend will die out and that'll go away. So most of your money and most of your sales you want to come from evergreens. If you get a good evergreen design selling, it will sell year round and it can sell year after year. And so make sure you got a lot of good quality evergreens up on your shop. And across multiple products and everything too. Evergreens that's a great way to go. Now I'm going to show you some designs that probably a lot of them I've shown you how to do in the past, but give you examples of how to scale things. And so 1 second here. Okay, so this really easy. So here we've got a fingerprint design and it just has lots of different flags. And so I scaled this out across as many different countries with as many different flags as I could possibly think of and made thumbprints with the flags in it. You may have seen one that said like, it's in my DNA. That was a popular one for a while. You can think of other things that you can write and use the same technique. And so I've seen this done with fingerprints. I've seen it done with like trees and roots. And so those are great ways to go too. I do have a video on how to do this particular design. So if you're interested in that, you can always go to my channel. I've got playlists. So if you look through the playlist on, you know, print on demand, design tutorials, and you look through there. I don't remember how many I have, just under 200 of those videos, and you can scroll through and see how to do different designs. So this is definitely one that I did show people how to do. Here is another one, and I'm pretty sure I did a video on this as well, but this is a great example of how to scale out an age one. So I make 50 look good, I make 60 look good, I make 70 look good, things like that. These I put some cool clipping masks on, but another great easy way to go. There's another one. This is an example of kind of mixing sports and parenting. So we're taking the sport and we're adding the mom. And so you've got your golf mom, your basketball mom, your football mom, and you can go on and on and on and on and on for different sports. And again, I do think I've got a video on how to do the particular messy bun style design as well. Okay, here's one on dog breeds, right? So this is a great way to cross niche dog breeds with mom or dad, and I do have versions for both. So it says like best pit bull dad ever, and then I have one that's best pit bull mom ever, and then you keep going down for the dog breeds: best golden retriever dad ever, best pug dad ever, best every single animal, I mean not animal, but you could do animal, pet that you can think of, really. And so that's an easy way to do it. Once you get sort of the template, then all you really have to do is put in a new picture and change out the word up top. So you would have to obviously substitute the words. But these are easy designs to scale, and you can usually get a good 100 designs out of one design template. So that's why I always stress spending a lot of time on your initial design and making sure that you've got a very good template. And if you've got a very good template, then it's easy to scale it out. Here's an example that is just always popular. You can see, obviously, this was from 2022, but you can go 2024, 2025, 2026 example, and it's just mommy established, or daddy established, or grandma or grandpa established. This is for hats, actually. So these designs I made for hats. You can do this for t-shirts, you can do this for phone cases, you can do this for anything that you can possibly think of, but those are always popular and they are always selling. And so the cool thing about this is if I did something like for 2025 and I put mommy established 2025, yeah, there'll be a lot of competition for that year. A lot of people are doing designs like that, but you don't have year after year after year competition. You'll just have the competition for that particular year. And so sometimes it's still less competition than something like if you just made a generic Christmas shirt and it's competing with Christmas shirts for the past like 25 years. There's a ton. And so sometimes the year designs, they can be good. Of course, once that year's over, you probably won't sell anymore. But there's another one that's easy to scale out. Now here's a scalable one, and I haven't seen this as much in a while. It was really popular for a while, but it was just the heartbeat and then whatever you wanted. Usually things like hobbies or things that people loved, and really easy because you didn't even have to put any words with it. You literally just had to substitute pictures in, and so we've got one with high jump, one with hurdles, one with horses, and so really easy to do, and that could be scaled out, definitely. There's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of different ways you can do that. Again, I haven't seen this style as much anymore, but it's a great example of an easy design to scale out. Here's another one that I've seen a lot of, and it's just that sports niche. This one is towards female athletes, and it says, I play like a girl, try to keep up. And again, you can just take that same template and just switch out the different balls or whatever it is for the sport. And it's really easy to just pump out a whole bunch of these. I do also think I might have a video on this too on the channel. Another easy example, first day of school shirts, hello first grade, hello second grade, hello third grade, etc. Right? And then I just put a clipping mask on this and boom, super easy to do, super easy to scale out. Okay, another one. This one is, again, animals. This is marine animals, so aquatic animals. So you've got your whale, your shark, your seahorse, and this is just a splatter background that I put a clipping mask over. And so that was really easy to do. And you can make all sorts of different animal designs in this style as well. And of course, it doesn't just have to be animals, but that is a cool way to feature it. That's a little bit different. Okay, here's an example of the locations. So this one says there's one for Los Angeles, one for New York, one for San Diego, and they're going to have the skylines. And so if you can get a a silhouette of the skyline, you can just put the city right under it, put any kind of clipping mask you want over it. This was an artsy kind of a one, but again, you could scale that out tremendously for different locations. Okay, here's Bigfoot, and we took Bigfoot and we cross niched it with UFOs, right? So I've got 3 different Bigfoots here, each one of them with a different UFO. And I do think I have a video on how to create this too. So if it's something that you're interested in, I think I got a video showing you how you can do, I want to say it's the center one that I have the video on. And it was just a lot of overlapping different graphics and using some transparency to get the light beam, at least on the middle one. Here's another good cross niche. We're taking caffeine, which could be coffee or whatnot, because, and then it says teacher life is not easy, or caffeine because dad life is not easy, caffeine because student life is not easy, and you can pretty much substitute anything in there. Life is not easy, right? And so another one that you might take a while getting the template, designing the template, but once you do, it's pretty easy to just throw in the different words in the center. So I got a few more that I'll show you. Here's sort of a vintage style one. I do have a video on how to do this vintage style design as well. But this one says, I'm not old, just vintage. And then all you got to do is throw in different vintage things: vintage plane, vintage film, vintage camera, vintage car, vintage whatever you can think of. And, that's a great one that you could give a grandparent or somebody. Okay, here's another easy one. Now, I love clipping masks because clipping masks are so easy to use. And if you don't know how to do it, watch any of my videos recently where I've used Photopea, and clipping masks are just super fun and easy. But here, all you have to do is take any kind of an animal, it doesn't even have to be an animal, any kind of anything silhouette, and throw a clipping mask over it. So I actually just sold one of these recently. I don't remember which animal it was. But the tropical or floral style clipping mask over, again, any kind of shape. And so sometimes the best-selling designs are very simple, and so you don't have to spend a ton of time on every design. Some designs are very fast and easy to make. Some take a little bit more time. If I'm going to do a design that takes a little bit more time, I'm going to make sure it's something that I can scale out. Here's another example of just a simple clipping mask. I put it on ties, and you can make tie shirts where you just have the tie down the center of the shirt, and you can put all sorts of different clipping masks on it. Fun for the holidays, but very easy to scale. Here is an example of cross niching. This would be numbers or age with a sport. So I took basketball, and I did, that says 1, 2, 3, and I did, I don't know, 1 through maybe 10. I'm not sure which I did, probably through 13 I did for birthdays, or it could be jerseys. So your jersey number too. So lots of different ways you could try to spin that, but just, again, throwing a clipping mask over a number. And you can do any clipping mask over any number. All right, and then the last example, because I know there's been a lot of examples, and I do, again, have videos on how to make the warning signs too, I think. And so this is just different warning signs. So warning, official teenager. Warning, in my head, I've already killed you 3 times. Pop a warning, may nap suddenly. And you can make any number of different warning sign designs. Once you pick your warning sign and have that all, set, then all you have to do is change the text. And so you can pump out a whole bunch of different warning sign ones too. So anyways, all of this just to say that there are tons and tons and tons of niche opportunities and design opportunities out there, tons of evergreens and tons of ways to scale them. And if you're competing against the people in the higher tiers, you can guarantee that they have designs in all of these niches, and that they have lots of designs up, and that they have scaled them out. I hope this helped you. I hope it gave you a lot of different ideas if you were stuck on things that you can be working on. I hope you're doing really well with your sales. If you have any questions or comments, you can throw it in the comment section below. I try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. If you have any requests for videos, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see if I can add you to my list. Again, I hope you guys are doing well, and I do hope to see you guys again. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.